All right, so for the what it feels like 100th time, Destiny is dying. But it's probably a little bit more complicated than that. Today is Wednesday, December the 6th, and IGN released an article on the current state at Bungie and how if they don't meet their financial goal range, Sony might take over management. And of course, the internet is the internet, and it's the worst thing ever. Sony buying Bungie is the worst thing ever. They should have stayed independent. What else? It's because of current management that we're in this predicament. Destiny is dead. They should just do Destiny 3, the classic, blah, 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 blah. Thankfully, well, the voices I pay attention to um, try to keep things level headed and pretty even. Sure, they praise Bungie and Destiny when they do good, and they also criticize Bungie and Destiny when they do bad, which I absolutely love because, like all things, it's not just one extreme or the other. Um, yes, the deal with Sony is a pretty big one, but people need to uh, remember when a company is bought out by another company, they usually get rid of management to begin with. They may keep someone on as a figurehead, CEO, blah blah blah, for a year or two, and then they'll phase them out, push them out, whatever. Activision's a prime example. I know a lot of people love and love on or love to hate Activision, but um, the CEO guy, Koch or whatever the fuck his name is still there. So that being said, the fact that Sony was letting Bungie continue as an independent company with 50-50, board seating is a pretty big thing. And yes, morale might be down right now because Bungie wants to keep that. And Sony doesn't want to, completely overhaul Destiny because they acquired Bungie for this specific reason. Destiny as an IP is huge. There's so much potential that people seem to forget that Bungie can offer um, Sony because you can easily make TV shows and put them on whichever platform you want, whether it be a mini series, an actual full blown series, or even movies. Sony knows that. You look at what they're putting out. Last of Us, Twisted Metal. We got God of War coming out. All of these are doing pretty solid. Unlike Halo, which a lot of fans disliked. So if Sony is putting out this product, they're gonna want to keep the creators of it involved because that's why they created PlayStation Pictures branch of their film, division. The potential is there. So yes, they want Destiny to succeed. And yes, we all know that Bungie has Marathon that they're working on, and then a potential third uh, IP that they're working on. And that's because they don't want Destiny to be their only source of income. That makes sense. You want to branch, and eventually they want to grow because then they can become someone like Naughty Dog who puts out, multiple different games every so many years. They can have a team dedicated to Destiny, and they'll have a flow of employees coming in to keep it fresh, change things up. That's the way it would work in an ideal scenario. Right now, they're in a very dangerous spot because they don't want. I'm just speaking from the outside looking in because that's what we're all doing. I'm pretty sure Bungie management, good or bad, they want to keep that independency that they have. That they worked into their contract when being bought out. Um, the age of second party independent studios has way been um, past making sense. You don't find very many independent studios. If you do, they're making indie projects, and there's nothing wrong with that. We love a good indie project, but just the way how much it costs to make a solid AAA video game, it just doesn't make sense anymore to be solely independent. And for all the people that are saying that, oh, it was so much better when Bungie was with Activision, it is not. Activision has the bad habit of getting these studios and throwing them into the Call of Duty machine. EA does the same thing with their sports franchises. So the people that are sitting there saying that, oh, Bungie's Destiny's dead and this and that, it's one branch of the video game industry that's constantly going. Not every studio can put out a game like GTA. The last one it's a fucking meme right now. The last one released, so many years ago, people are posting, before and after GTA 5 and 6 pictures because it takes that long to make a game. Not everyone can do that. So they have people like EA that puts the same product year after year after year, and people buy it up year after year after year. Same with Call of Duty. Fortnite is huge, and Fortnite has been, fortunate that they've been able to find ways to reinvent themselves. They recently, never played more than 5 minutes of Fortnite, and I know they recently dropped their OG map that everyone jumped back into and they love. They have that no build version that everybody loves, and they just announced some Lego free to play version for Fortnite. That's not the rule. That's the exception. And good for them. They're the biggest IP out there, with Epic. No knock on them. People are going to always play it. They're always going to love it, but they're constantly reinventing themselves. And it makes sense. They are under the Epic brand. But even at that, Epic let go of people. So many studios are letting go of people this year. So, yes, it's going to trickle down to the the studios that are under the Sony, brand. We saw it with Naughty Dog. I think there's one or two more Sony, studios that had to let go of people. So that it shouldn't be a surprise that Bungie had to let go of people as well. People will sit there and bitch and complain for the microtransactions, but it's a necessity to keep the lights on and to keep everyone employed. You know, Today in the report that they talked about so many random luxuries that the studio gives their employees that not very many companies do that. I can guarantee you, out of all the fucking places I've worked at, I've never got a Christmas card from the company or a birthday card from the company. They do that at Bungie. So you got to sit back and put things in perspective because not every company has those luxuries. And yeah, right now, as someone said, one of the big YouTubers, Destiny YouTubers, you got to cut back on some of these, luxuries to focus on the main situation, making sure the final shape is the best that it can be. Will it deliver and sell gangbusters? Maybe not. But when it's all said and done, Bungie and Sony can sit there and say, hey, they put in every effort to make that happen. So yes, you may not get your little weekly powwow to make you feel good, and now your morale's low. It's because it's crunch time. Like these guys have to deliver, and we know they can deliver. Bungie and Destiny has for the most part brought us good stories. They need the final shape to hit. It's plain and simple. If you're a longtime Destiny fan, you know that. And if by some random chance that this makes it to someone at Bungie, outfits need to be $10. Weapon ornaments $5. People would be more accepting. People would buy them more. Have a team specifically dedicated to cosmetics. If you're worried about money and selling stuff, lower the price and put more stuff out there because the fucking community gets super creative with the outfits that we get. I guarantee you, I understand that there's more, complicated things to making outfits run on Destiny's engine. We know this. How many times have you seen a hunter run by and their capes, glitching all over the place? I get that. But you have to be willing to make just a small team, small group of people that can stretch their, creativity and come up with some crazy outfits because we've seen the artwork that the artists that have worked at Bungie or come through for Bungie put out there. Some of that shit is fucking awesome, and we need more of it. I can honestly say, as a hunter main, I play all three subclasses. Like right now, the Witcher Titan outfit looks fucking amazing. I haven't had a hunter outfit in years where I'm like, oh fuck, I need that. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, taste, cosmetic taste can be a cash flow if done properly. And I fucking hate to say it, but Call of Duty knows it. Their stuff is way overpriced, but they're constantly putting new stuff out there. Bungie can easily take a page from that book just to help mitigate the whole anger that the fans, feel for the microtransactions and the necessity of having to have microtransactions. Like, we get it. If you're a fan, or if you kind of look at the whole industry as a whole, these live services need some form of income. Like the dungeons, I get people are mad. Oh, it's blah 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 to get. Make it 10 or 15 bucks. I don't even know, because I always buy the annual pass. I have no problem dropping money on Destiny. But if there's more shit to drop money on, I'll do it, but there has to be a fine balance. Right now, people are losing sight of the big picture. We need the final shape to hit, plain and simple. And these people that are constantly saying, "Oh, this deal with Sony is the worst thing ever." Sony has let Bungie act independently, like I said earlier, but they're also keeping Destiny on the Xbox. Like, they're not putting out exclusive, you know, stuff for PlayStation users only. People on Xbox can buy the PlayStation themed outfits. What's to say that they couldn't strike some deal with Microsoft? Microsoft hasn't been so friendly with Bungie as much as these people with wearing rose-colored glasses think. Like the 30th anniversary stuff that they put out there, they wanted to, from my understanding, they wanted to do some more Halo themed stuff, like cosmetics, outfits, and stuff, but they said no. So if you can't sit there and bash Sony when the other side isn't playing nice, because that's how it goes sometimes. Business is business. They may not want to see Master Chief themed outfits on a PlayStation platform. It's understandable. But that doesn't mean they can't find a way to play together. We've seen PlayStation stuff on Fortnite, and we've seen Xbox stuff on Fortnite. So there's always room to negotiate this stuff. But Bungie could not continue doing what they wanted to do as an independent company. And people need to realize that, because it costs a lot of fucking money to make video games. If I'm not mistaken, and I'm sure someone will double check, correct me or fact check me, the video game industry as a whole is on par or right there with the movie industry when it costs to creating these products. Like, it's insane how much marketing and how much finances go into video games, and a lot of these have to hit. Like, EA is the worst one when it comes to, like, oh, the game didn't perform, but yet it sold millions upon millions upon millions. You look at what they did with Dead Space. So, for a second, if you have, some type of common sense or understanding of the video game industry, slow it down. Yes, these people that work at Bungie, oh, the culture changed. Yes, the culture had to change because the world changed. Bungie used to be, a bunch of dudes making first person shooters. Guess what? A bunch of dudes tend to grow up and mature. And with that, just the whole culture of that company changed to begin with. I don't know all the behind the scenes stuff. I know there's some good and some bad. I don't care. The fact is, the culture has changed. And now, everyone's trying to they're trying to push these video game, companies all the way to one side when it doesn't need to be on one side. It needs to be right in the middle, pleasing everybody because you need everybody to want to play your game and to drop money on your game. Like, quit trying to push out your biggest potential market. It just makes no sense. And I'm no business genius. I didn't go to school for all that shit. But a lot of the stuff is just sitting back and taking stock of what's going on and trying to adjust accordingly. We know the guys at Bungie want the best for us. And guess what? The people above them fucked up. And if they don't fix this, a lot of them are probably going to be out. And if it goes that way, yeah, they're going to, hindsight 2020, they're going to be like, "Oh shit, we fucked up." So right now, I guarantee you a lot of those execs are thinking, "Oh shit, we fucked up." And we have a few months to right the ship. So yes, there's going to be tension at Bungie because if this shit doesn't hit, management is changing. And when management changes, all the people that have worked there may not stay there. And I know some people got let go, and that's horrible, but that's on any industry. Turnovers happen. Doesn't matter if it's the food industry, automobile industry, fucking, it doesn't matter. There's always turnover. You always want the best people for the situation if you're a fucking smart business. And right now, yes, I know we lost a lot of good people, but there's always a chance that some of these people can come back. And the fact that IGN put out this, rant or, article, it feels like an ex-girlfriend, talking about their ex-boyfriend. Like, it just, you can feel the bitterness. And you always got to take situations like this, these interviews where someone, is going to be anonymous with a grain of salt because there is their personal feelings attached to that. And yes, there could be some people that want to protect themselves because they still want to stay with Bungie or they don't want to screw up their next, uh, job opportunity because if, a company hears that you're willing to talk to IGN about this stuff, they're going to be a little iffy about you. That all makes sense. But if I broke up with a person and they went and talked to someone else about me, more than likely they're not going to say the best things about me. They're going to highlight the negative things, and that's fine. Good and bad happens at all these in all of these companies. But for the love of God, slow it down and realize like these guys at Bungie want the game to succeed and hopefully go on for a few more years. The people at Sony want this game to succeed. That's why they were able to buy, that's why they bought Bungie. A lot of people don't realize or tend to forget that Sony doesn't have the cash flow that Microsoft has. Microsoft bought Bethesda and all of their studios that they have. Because guess what? Sadly, the Microsoft owned properties haven't been hitting well. And that's no fault on anybody. It's just the way it goes sometimes. Whereas on Sony's side, these games may not sell gangbusters like Call of Duty, Madden, FIFA, but they're fucking telling these amazing stories. So to sit there and say, "Oh crap, if Sony completely takes over Bungie, it's going to be, all hell's going to break loose." No, hopefully, worst case scenario, Sony would come in and try to, you know, put out maybe Destiny 3, you know, soft reboot it. We don't know. We do not know how it would play out. But that's worst case scenario is Sony taking over Bungie. The same company that has put out The Last of Us 1 and 2, Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, MLB The Show, and what else? Hell, I can't even think about what else they've put out. They've put out bangers. I could look on my shelf right there. Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, they've put out top tier games. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. But that's worst case scenario. Not everybody wants that to happen. Bungie wants us to keep, creating as Bungie. They want to hopefully go on for the long haul. But Sony buying Bungie isn't the worst thing ever. People were freaking out when Sony bought Insomniac. Yet we have the best Spider-Man games we've had in fucking years. We have a Wolverine game that's on the horizon that people are already salivating for, and we just got a teaser. So it's not the worst thing ever. Calm down if that's what you think. This is a long rant, and I knew it was gonna go off because it's been bugging me all day. Um, but yeah, like if you constantly see these people bitch and moan and complain about Destiny, yeah, it may be time to fucking tune them out. There are plenty of people out there that are still playing the game and still loving it. Sure, not as many people are playing it, but guess what? So many good games came out this year, and some years it's gonna be like that. It's okay to take a break from Destiny. If you don't want to pre-order the next Final Shape, that's fine. But don't bitch and complain when sales don't go the way it goes, and then management gets taken over by Sony. Like you're becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy at that point. Oh, the game's dead, and well, why is the game dead? Well, it's because I didn't buy the expansion. If you want to buy it, cool. If you don't want to buy it, that's fine. But don't sit there and say, "Oh, the game's dead because nobody wants to play it." No, people want to play it. We just want the game to be what we know it can be, what we've seen hints of here and there. Because when it's good, it's good. The dungeon that they just dropped is fucking amazing. It's fun. We know the potential they have. You know, as long as they don't go the Disney route and try to lecture, stay in the middle, make the game fun, everything is going to work out the best way possible. So yeah, my only advice: create a team that can put out more cosmetics because people love cosmetics. Like it's the dumbest thing that we love cosmetics so much. But adjust the price. Like yeah, you may have to take a hit per outfit, but create more outfits, sell them at $10. You're gonna make your money. It's simple. Us gamers are very simple minded. You give me some badass ornaments for my guns, I'll buy them if they're like $5. That's a fucking coffee, a burger. You know? Oh yeah, I didn't go to Sonic today, so I'm going to buy this. Like it's simple. Don't overcharge. That's when you start getting in a situation where it doesn't help anybody. People start getting mad, and here we are all over again. So yes, things are crazy right now, and it's crunch time. These articles that IGN and all these video game websites put out, it's not helping. But of course, a lot of people tend to ignore these websites until they say something that validates their thoughts. So that's the way it's going to go, and it's always going to be that way. I haven't read an IGN article, like a legit IGN article, in a long time. And it's no knock on IGN, but their culture has changed. A lot of the culture in a lot of places changes, and that's just the way it goes as time goes on. People come in, people go, different mindsets, different opinions, are magnified, and there's nothing wrong with that. But at this point, Destiny fans, if you love the game, you have to understand we're in a very, very, very asshole squeezing situation. Like these guys know they need to put out a banger. They're gonna. I can't speak on their behalf, but I'm hoping they try to communicate better. We saw it at the very beginning of this season. Hopefully, it continues. But these guys are trying to make an expansion that is on the level of the Taken King, uh, and I'm trying to bring the Witch Queen, and fuck, was it the one where Cade dies? I'm fucking drawing a blank. There's so many expansions, but that's not a bad thing. Expansions are a part of this world because it was the same thing with fucking WoW. I never played WoW, but I always saw the constant expansions coming out because it's from my understanding, a live service game. Call of Duty is basically the same thing, but you're buying a brand new game and you're getting the same product. Same with Madden. Like I haven't bought a new Madden since 2018 because it's been the same fucking thing, and I realize that. So I'll buy one game, and until they completely redesign or redo the game, I'm fine with that. But you get my point. And this rant has gone on way longer than what it should have. But some of this shit has to be said. Some people need to like take a step back, look at the big picture, and not freak out and immediately think, "Oh, this is the worst case scenario." People don't want the worst case scenario to happen. If that was the case, management would not care and they would let the game tank so Sony could take it over and they could get their money and just leave. People at the studio still love the franchise. They want to branch out and do other things, yes. If things can go well, they'll be able to do that. Because, like I said, when one bigger company, buys a smaller company, it usually doesn't go this way. Usually, smaller company loses all of their management and they do a fresh start. The partnership isn't a bad thing. So, I'm going to try to calm down and, and just take a second to jump in Destiny, play more of the season, and probably do a dungeon or two. But that's what I'm going to call it. I hope you have a good one. I hope this made some fucking sense. Okay. I'll talk to you later.